Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is FPL Match. We're going to be going through my Game Week 17 team selection. As you can see by the title, the triple captain is going to be activated as well. We're going to speak on who it's going to be, but I think you can already guess who it's going to be on. And also going to go through my Game Week 17 transfer thoughts, my Game Week 17 captaincy picks as well, and also my Game Week 16 team review. But before we get into that, I do thank you all guys for the continued support on the channel. Finally managed to hit 900 subscribers, which was a milestone for the year. That the next goal is going to be 1,000, and that can only be made possible through you guys' support. So if you're new around here or you're a regular viewer and yet subscribed, make sure you hit that sub button. Make sure you leave a like. Also, make sure you hit that bell. You miss any content going up on the channel. Also, leave a comment in the comment section telling me your rank before Game Week 17 begins. Without wasting any much time, let's get straight into it. So for game week 16, this is how the team performed. Managed to score 82 points, came out overall points 116, and a huge green arrow from 1.6 million to 1.2 million. Of course, could have been a little bit better work into the top 1 million before Bruno Fernandes played and ruined everything for me. But hey, I'm a United fan, so I'm happy with that. But took my rank to 1.2 million, which is still a very massive green arrow around 400,000 places. And so in goal, we had Verbruggen with 1 point. Disappointing display against Liverpool, but hey, Ekitike was in form, so I cannot complain about that. Then we had Chaloba with 9 points clean sheet against Everton, and I think picking up a lot of bonus points. Then Timber and Anderson both blanking for 2 points respectively. Then we had Foden who scored again for 11 points. Saka managing to get 2 assists for 11 points. Wilson, who was the star of the show, managing to score 1 goal and 2 assists for 16 points, which is amazing. Then we had Minte with 2 points blanking against Liverpool. A little bit unlucky. I think he had a lot of chances. He had a lot of chances as well, but 2 points in the end. Haaland, of course, managing to score 2 goals against Crystal Palace for 26 points. He was the captain. Thiago disappointing display against Leeds. I think against Wolves, he can be able to deliver something. 2 points. Voltemade scoring an own goal in the derby for 0 points. On the bench, we had Dubravka, Richards, Rodon, Anderson, all blanking in there. But all in all, a very good game carried by Haaland in the midfield, and of course Chalobah in there. So very happy with 82 points. Very happy with the green arrow. And now let's see what game week 17 has in store for us. So now we can go ahead with my transfer thoughts. And the transfer I'm thinking about is Anderson from Nottingham Forest to going to Semenyo from Bournemouth. I think Anderson has not had the best run, and I think he's only relying on some depth on points, which is not ideal. So, and now the tides have changed from having three forwards to having five midfielders, and I think I'm going to be jumping on that bandwagon very soon. And of course, I'm going to be jumping in Game Week 17. So yeah, that's why I'm going to be doing this transfer. And then the player I'm going to bring in of the mention is Semenyo, Burnley, and Brentford in the next two. But after that, not the best fixtures in Chelsea, Arsenal, and Spurs. That's why I'm a little bit conflicted on whether I want to bring in Semenyo or just go for another alternative in that position who's going to have a good long-term run of fixtures because after for the Brentford game, I don't think I really want Semenyo in my team with Chelsea, Arsenal, and Spurs coming up. Maybe it's going to be a shift to Rogers or something. But for now, I think I'm going to just slightly stay with Semenyo in there. But let me know down in the comments what do you think about having Semenyo as a transfer in, or should I just go for another alternative? It's going to be better in the long run. But for now, I'm going to stick with Semenyo. So with Semenyo in mind, now let's look at how I'm going to be lining up for Game Week 17. So today we're going to be lining up for Game Week 17. We're going to be having Verbruggen in goal against Sunderland. Sunderland have been very good at home, but very poor away from home. They're going to bet on the other hand, have been very good at home. So I'm hoping for a clean sheet in this fixture. I think it's been a very long time since Brighton kept a clean sheet, and I do hope against Sunderland it will be their game. Also, Sunderland on a high at the moment after beating Newcastle. It is going to be a very interesting game, but I do hope for a clean sheet. Then we have Chalobah against Newcastle. I was considering bringing in O'Reilly, which I might still do before the deadline. But for now, I'm going to stick with Chalobah against Newcastle. Newcastle looked very poor against Sunderland. I don't think they had any clear-cut chances, so I'm hoping it's going to be the same against Chelsea, who looked very strong defensively against Everton, especially Chalobah looked very, very solid. And I hope he's going to keep another clean sheet. Then we have Timber against Everton. Everton are going to be missing some key players. They're going to be missing out on Grealish, Dewsbury Hall, and Ndiaye, who has gone off to the AFCON. So there's a high chance of a clean sheet in that fixture with that Everton team lacking a bit of creative spark and some goal threats up top. So hoping for a clean sheet in there. Then you have Richard against Leeds. Calvert-Lewin has been in intense form at the moment, scoring 4 goals in his last four. So I do hope for a clean sheet in there. But on the other hand, Crystal Palace have been very, very strong defensively. I think they have the second best defensive record in the league at the moment. So I do hope there's going to be a chance of a clean sheet in that fixture. Maybe a cheeky attacking return from Richard will also be very much appreciated. So that's the defense and the goalkeeping department. Looks pretty solid, hoping for some clean sheets in there and some DEFCON points. So now let's look at the midfield. So this is how the midfield is going to be looking like. Going to be having Bukayo Saka in there against Everton. He did have 2 assists against who, but as I keep on mentioning, I think a little bit of controversy on some one of those assists, but we take it nevertheless. And I do hope against Everton he can be able to perform. And Everton looked very poor defensively against Chelsea, and I do hope Arsenal can be able to expose that. But Arsenal did look very poor against Wolves. It's a slight concern, but I don't think it's anything that I'd be concerned about in terms of FPL, just as long as Saka gets those attacking returns. Then we have Semenyo against Burnley. Burnley have been very poor defensively. I think one of the poorest defensive teams I've ever seen in the Premier League. And I do hope that Semenyo can be able to capitalize on that after going back to scoring ways against Manchester United. Then we have Wilson against Nottingham Forest. It was a differential pick not long ago, but now everyone has jumped on the bandwagon. At least I did enjoy that massive 16 points haul that he had last game week. Not so sure we're going to have the same one in game week 17. Nottingham Forest looked very, very strong against Spurs, especially even defensive, not even conceding a goal. So it's going to be a tough fixture this one, but I do hope that Wilson can be able to perform. Then we have Foden against West Ham. He's been on form at the moment, 7 GA in his last five, double points in his last five as well. So hoping against West Ham, who have also been very poor defensively, that Foden can be able to bring home some points. Then we have Minte finishing off the team, playing against Sunderland, who are going to be on a very high, but they're going to be losing a lot of players to AFCON. So maybe it's the right time to play Sunderland because they're going to be a weak, they're going to be weak in a lot of places. And I do hope that Brighton and Co can be able to capitalize on that and hope that Minty will be instrumental in that performance, of course. So that's the midfield. Looks pretty solid, looks full of goals and assists, and I hope it's going to perform. And so now let's look at the forward line. So this is how the forward line is going to be looking like in game 17. We're going to be having Haaland in there, and of course, we're going to be whipping the triple captain on him against West Ham, who have been very poor defensively, as I mentioned a lot in this video. And I do hope he's not going to have a blank game week in this game week. I think I had him triple captain. Was it against Leeds? Where I was thinking about triple captain, and I somehow forgot the deadline and he blanked. So I'm hoping that against West Ham. So it's going to be the same case. Nope is going to be able to perform. Then we have Thiago finishing off the team against Wolves, a very poor defensive team as well. So hoping that Thiago can be able to improve on his performance against Leeds, where he was not very, very good. And I do hope against Wolves he can be able to perform. Then on the bench, we have Dubravka, Voltemade. I'm sure you're going to be saying I have a very cheap, a very expensive player on the bench, but I do that it is. I don't want to use my transfers, so that's why he's going to be on the bench. Then we have Anderson and Rodon finishing off the team. So in overall, a very strong team for Game 17. Hope we're going to be able to perform. Remember in the comments, what do you think I should change? And of course, the triple captain is going to be active on Haaland as well. So with that, now let's look at some captaincy picks ahead of Game 17. So these are the captaincy picks for Game Week 17. I've gone for 3 players I think are going to have an outstanding game week. And the first player, of course, is going to be Haaland playing against West Ham. very poor defensive team, as I've mentioned in this video a lot of times. And I'm sure he's going to have a wonderful game because I'm going to be the triple captain on him. And I'm sure many people are going to be captaining him as well. The other player is Thiago. I don't think it's going to be popular because of his performance against Leeds, but I still think he's a very, very strong candidate. Then the last player is going to be Semenyo playing against Burnley. Not had a good run of fixtures before the United game, but they managed to score a wonderful goal against United. So I think many people are going to be considering him against a weak Burnley team, especially considering what Wilson did in game week 16 to that weak Burnley defensive team. So yeah, I think many people are going to be considering Semenyo, and I still think he's also a very, very good candidate for captaincy. But for me, it's going to be on Haaland. Let me know in the comments if you managed to reach this far, of course, who you're going to be captaining. And with that, I'd like to thank you all guys for watching the video. If you managed to reach this far, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Also, check my socials. The links are down in the description. And I'll see you all guys later. Bye bye.